Christian Boyce, and I'm going to show you how to fix a problem photo. It's going to be this photo. We're going to fix this one. But let's recap what we did last time. We turned this photo into this photo, and it wasn't very hard. So the one we're going to do today is a little bit different. Last time our problem was too much shadow. This time the problem is we tried to take the picture with a flash, and it was too big an area and we couldn't light it up properly, and it just didn't work out. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to rescue it, and we have to rescue it because this photo is 30 years old and we can't take this picture again. So we have to fix what we have. So let's go back and let's do what we did last time. We're going to select the photo and duplicate it so we have something to compare it to when we're done. You know, the truth is that you can always revert a picture back to the original. I can do all kinds of work on it, like this one. And I could come here and I could say revert to original. It would undo everything we did, but I don't want to do that. But that's how you would get the original picture back. But we don't want to do that this time because I want to have two pictures to compare side by side. So let's fix this thing. So I'm going to tap edit here, and here's the picture, and it's too bad it wasn't better to begin with. For 30 years no one's seen what this picture really looked like, but we're gonna fix it right now. We're gonna try enhance. Enhance can sometimes be kind of good, and that's kind of good. It's made a big difference. I'm gonna click undo so you can see again what it did. Here's how it was, and here's how it is. It shifted the color a little bit towards red, but it made things a lot better. But one of the things that you wonder about with enhance is what exactly did this enhance button do? Well, if you go to adjust, which we know how to do from last time, you can see, hey, it did some things. It did something with levels, and it did something here with saturation. It made a slight color shift, and I don't think they did it right. But you can see that they really did with enhance what we did by hand last time. So let's go back to these quick fixes. I want to show you something else. You can click enhance again and it'll try to enhance it even more. So let's do it. I don't see much of a difference this time, but I can click it a bunch of times and it's gonna change things each time, just a little. If I go back here to adjust, well, we don't see much of a difference, but believe me, enhance will do it every time you click it. So what I'm going to do here, now that I'm here, I can see what they did. I'm going to use that as a starting point because it's pretty good, and I'm going to make it better. So first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of that pink color cast. So if we use our little eyedropper down here, we do what it says. Click to pick a neutral gray or white to remove the color cast. So I'm going to click on the eyedropper, and I see this little plume on the helmet, and that was probably white. So I'm going to tap on that and click on that, and you see the color cast has gone back to sort of a more nighttime picture as opposed to that sort of red. And if you don't like it, click somewhere else and see as the color will change a little bit. If I made a mistake and clicked on this blonde hair, I get the wrong color cast. If I click on this blue, I get the wrong thing. So pick something that really is white and you'll be better off. Okay, so we've done that. You can see they've changed the temperature and tint because of what I told with this eyedropper. I told the program what was white. Okay, so that's one thing we want to do. Now, another thing we can do to make this picture a little bit better is we can play with the contrast. We didn't do any contrast stuff last time, but look, if I take contrast, look what happens if I take contrast all the way to the end. You can see some parts of the picture got better. I went a little too far, but look what happens if I go all the other way. It's all a big mush again. So you can see that part of our problem was we really needed some contrast. So I'm going to, because this looks like the way the picture looked when we started. So I'm going to take this a little bit to the right, just a little bit, to get a little bit more contrast, and all of a sudden you can see there's a Christmas tree here that was kind of hard to see without the contrast. If I pull this back, it starts to fade away. So just a little bit. Okay. Alright, so that takes care of that part. We need a little bit of help in the shadows because it is dark, especially over here. There's some little faces here that we can't see. So I'm going to take the shadows, I'm going to pull this a little bit to the right, try to lighten up the shadow parts. And that's tricky because, well, it's that bad a picture. But we've helped it a little. And finally, when you do these things, you see this levels profile changing as we do things. If you look at what the levels look like now, and you look at what they look like if I move the shadows, it changes things all over the place. So our job is to pay attention to that. And when we do something like move the shadow slider, we want to come up here and try to micro adjust this. So remember, what we try to do is take this one, this is called the white point, and we want it to be right about where this graph starts going up and down, which actually turns out to be way over here. If I pull it too far, look, things go too bright and you lose detail. So somewhere over here. This one, in theory, should start right where this red one comes down, right at the first thing that you see. But trouble is, when you do this, even though it's improved some things, it's also made the whole picture a little bit dark. So if I'm going to do that, I have to counter it with the middle one. So this was the black point, this is the white point, and this is the gray point. So I'm going to take this one and try to lighten it up a little bit. And so this is always a balancing act. But somewhere around here, I think we've got a pretty good picture. So let's remind ourselves what we had to begin with. And I'll do our shift key trick. I'll press the shift down. Yuck. And now I've got this. So certainly a lot better. It's not 100% better, but it's a lot better. I'll give it just a little bit of sharpness because I almost always do. And a little bit of definition because I almost always do. And I almost always do a little bit of highlights to knock down some of the things that are too bright. In this case, there's not much to do, so I'll leave it like that. Okay, so here's our picture. So I'm going to say, let's go back. Here's what we had, and here's what we've got. Let's double click. Don't double click. Let's select them both and click edit. We can see them both side by side. And which one do you like? That one, yuck, or this one? And if you look at the original, you can see here's the graph or histogram of levels. And the problem here is when this slider is too far away from here, from where the graph starts going up, you lose detail, and you can see it just looks fuzzy and soft. Same with this. If the white point's too far from where things go up, which is about here, then you lose things. And the center is all about controlling the overall brightness. Okay, so look at this one. So this is a more spread out graph. It's just better. So certainly a lot better just when you look at the picture. So that's it. Easy as pie. Okay, so which one would you rather? Would you rather have this? And I'll zoom in a little bit. Of course you would. Or the original, yuck. Of course you want this one. Not that one. Okay, so that's it. So what did we do? Let's just recap quickly. We started with enhance in a quick fix so we could see what it would do. We went to adjust, and that was a good starting point. We adjusted the color with the little eyedropper. We fixed that. Little more contrast, a little bit of tucking in here with the level sliders, and a little bit of shadows, and a little bit of sharpness, a little bit of definition.